amazing, beautiful people, and welcome back to another Tuesday reaction video. Alright, well, all of you asked for this, and pretty much every single week, all I do is pick the comments you guys are recommending. And also, I'm well excited about this. So, Taylor Swift did a Songwriters Hall of Fame speech, and everybody's been saying the speech is amazing. It's been heavily recommended. People are saying I need to check it out, I need to see it, and of course, that means we've got to do a reaction to this. Now, I'm going to leave a link to the two channels that I found that have uploaded this video, one called Cover Nation and the amazing Tay TV, so you can find the original video yourself in the description. And yeah, I'm super excited to see why so many Swifties have been saying this is a must-watch, like we need to check out this speech. We've checked out a bunch of Taylor Swift speeches in the past, and all of them have something a little bit different. Her energy at every single one feels different, she approaches them differently, but that complimentary nature she always has to like lift other people up, that's there every single one. So I'm sure we're going to see that today. Now, if you want to support this channel, you can do so by liking and subscribing, and whichever subscriber's comment gets the most likes, that's what I'll check out next week for our Tuesday reaction. But for now, let's jump into my first time ever reaction to Taylor Swift's full Songwriters Hall of Fame speech.
Hi. The quality of my speaking voice is, it's the product of two things that I'm not sorry for. One is that I was lucky enough to go to a Knicks game last night.
When she said hi, did anyone else think she was about to go, "Hi, I'm Taylor"?
Screamed for 100% of it. And then I got home and I was like, you gotta stop screaming.
That's where I recognize the person next to her.
You're screaming instead of talking. You're too excited. And I was like, okay, I'm not gonna scream tonight. And then I got to witness the amazing performances that I saw tonight, and then I just kept screaming. I just never stopped screaming. And so this is what you get. And again, I make no apologies for that. I've had a blast. Tonight has been amazing.
These teleprompters blow my mind, by the way. Because, like, we can just see Taylor, but she's got, like, writing on the teleprompter, and it's crazy. It's so technology, man.
I want to begin by thanking the person who introduced and inducted me tonight. He thinks that this is the first time he has inducted me into something, but what he may not be taking into consideration is that through his decades of spellbinding storytelling, Steven Spielberg has unknowingly inducted me.
It was! I thought so! I was like, that guy looks well familiar. It's like, looks like Spielberg. I thought so. That's hilarious.
And countless others into his sacred club of expansive world building. From the time he was a kid, every time he dreamed something up, he wanted to do anything humanly possible to be able to show it to you. I watched his films pivot between different genres, action to sci-fi to historical epic to drama to comedy, romance, fantasy to musical, and I watched him ace every single genre.
Spielberg did a musical?
And that kind of limitless creativity isn't just inspiring to burgeoning filmmakers. Because of examples like Steven's, I trusted my imagination, regardless of if it was taking me somewhere new and uncharted. And then every time I dreamed something up, I wanted to do everything humanly possible to be able to play it for you.
I will say, and I know it's a little bit of a tangent and we're here to talk about Taylor, but as someone who grew up watching Spielberg movies, there is a magic that he creates that is just unreplicated by any other director. And I'm not saying that other directors don't make incredible movies, that's just not true. They of course do. But I am saying there is a magic that Spielberg and maybe George Lucas, that they create that is something very special. And that has never been replicated, and I don't know if it ever will be. And there is a magic in their movies. There just is. My favorite movies growing up, and movies that have like shaped me, will always be those movies. And they're the ones I introduced to my kids too as well.
A few months ago when the Songwriters Hall of Fame asked me about my heroes and the creators
Columbus as well,
who shaped my storytelling, and who I might want to present this award to me, I said Steven's name. And about an hour later, to my absolute delight, I ended up on the phone with him and his legendarily effervescent wife, Kate Capshaw, who is here tonight.
Wait, you can just pick who presents you the award? Who do you want to present the award? You can pick anybody in the world. Like, can you? You can just pick somebody? Who would you like to present the award? Steven Spielberg? It's well cool. Is that a thing? Is that a thing?
And he was telling me that yes, absolutely, he would be thrilled to be here. And I was completely blown away because, I mean, the man has a massive film called Disclosure Day that's coming out at midnight tonight. And he's still gonna agree to show up and do this for me a few hours before it comes out. Wouldn't that be impossibly hard to balance? Wouldn't that be too difficult scheduling-wise? I'm trying to give him an out. At which point, Kate said something I'll never forget. She said, "Good and true things are easy." And if I look back at my entire 23-year career in music, the ups and downs, the industry battles, the trials and tribulations, the tears and the cheers and the dogpiling of doubt, the criticisms, both fair and unfair, the complete loss of privacy, the world tours and the ego wars, and the twists of fate, the absolute magical chaos of this path that I chose when I was too young to remember it ever being a choice at all. Songwriting was the easiest thing I ever did. Not because it didn't take effort, it definitely did. Not that it wasn't frustrating at times, because it could be. And not that my songwriting didn't haunt me relentlessly until I cracked the perfect internal rhyme scheme for the third line of the second verse to the point where my teachers called me out in class for not paying attention, because that definitely happened. But when I say that songwriting was the easiest part for me, I think what I mean is that it was instinctual. No one taught me how.
It's weird hearing Taylor talk about the difficulties of songwriting, because I've seen other artists write music. Like we've been reacting to music for 4-5 years now, and I've seen like different artists approach songs and how they write music and what they do, and out of everyone I've ever reacted to, and I don't mean this as either a compliment or not a compliment to anyone else or Taylor herself, but Taylor looks the easiest. Taylor writes music and just makes it look easy. Taylor will sit there and just be like, oh, that's a good tune. Ding, 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 ding. Done. Like, that's it. And in a day, she'll have a full song. The Toy Story song, did she write that in a day? That's Taylor. So for her to say the process is difficult, it's crazy because she makes it look easy.
Do it. I had to be taught how to entertain a crowd and learn choreography and be less annoying and navigate the industry and fiercely protect my own sanity. I had to learn all of that over time through difficult lessons and massive amounts of trial and error and chaos and calamity. But songwriting for me is pretty much the only thing I ever just naturally did. My parents tell me stories about driving home from taking me to see Disney movies. And in the theaters and noticing I was singing the songs on the way home from the film in the car. But I was changing the lyrics and the melodies to be about my own life. As a little kid, I loved to sing. I loved to do children's theater performances.
Do you know what's really random? And I'm not like doing any kind of comparisons here, but I if I didn't say this. My youngest does that all the time. We'll literally pick up a song, change the lyrics to his own life all the time. And literally has always done it, and it's the sweetest thing. He'll sing for like half an hour every night before he goes to sleep. Just go through a bunch of random songs in bed.
But
I just sit out his door listening.
Everything came together when I learned to play guitar at 12. I wrote my first song after learning my first 3 chords. It felt easy to work incredibly hard at this.
I love that.
It felt easy to nurture something I loved so much.
It felt easy to work hard.
To watch calluses form on the tips of my tiny fingers and to become a constant observer of the human condition. Because people's feelings, passions, and motivations have always fascinated me. And it was easy to choose songwriting over everything else in my life. But it couldn't have been easy for my parents and my brother. I'm good. To just pick up and move our entire family from Pennsylvania to relocate to Nashville so that I could hone my craft in the songwriting capital of the world. But after it became obvious that this was not even remotely a temporary phase their tween daughter was going through, they uprooted their entire lives to move me to Music City. And even though words are...
It is a true testament to her parents that they did that, by the way. That, like, you have that much faith in your kid, or you just love your kid that much that you're quite happy to just sacrifice your own life for them. And that's what I feel like it means to be a parent. It is that sacrifice of giving your life to your children, and them as parents were just like, Taylor wants this is something she could do, it's going to make her happy whether it becomes a career or not. If it's what's going to put a smile on her face, then it's important.
It's supposed to kind of be my thing. I will never be able to express my gratitude to you guys for doing that for me. You're the reason I'm here tonight. In Nashville, I took meetings and I played acoustic shows until I was able to secure a publishing deal.
I'm okay as well.
I got signed when I was 14. Oh, thanks.
Go Taylor. Have you noticed that whenever anyone cheers, she's always like so receptive of it? If someone goes woo, she's always like, thank you. Like every time. Every single time. You know, like one person, two people, always.
And I got the chance to work with incredibly wise and experienced co-writers. People like Liz Rose. Troy Burgess. Hillary Lindsay. Robert Ellis Orrell, Angelo, the Warren brothers, and the late but so very loved Brett James. So I'd written over 100 songs on my own at that point. But this would be my first experience co-writing.
The one thing that always blows my mind with music, and especially the artists that we love, is how many songs that they have written, how many songs that they've created, how many we will never hear. It will never stop blowing my mind that we all love Taylor. And she probably has 100 songs minimum that have been made that we will never hear, that most of us would probably love.
My parents have raised me to be over-prepared, show up early, never assume the world owes you anything. And I might have been 14 years old, but I didn't want anyone in a professional setting to treat me like a baby, or for these songwriters to think that I expected them to write songs for me to slap my name on. So at this point, I started to approach songwriting like a full-time vocation. And that didn't mean just showing up to my appointments and hoping that the ideas would show up too. It meant spending nearly all of my free time writing ideas in preparation for my writing sessions, and then stopping myself at a certain point to allow my co-writers to later weigh in. So some of these ideas were 50% done, some were 75% done, some were just a...
It's really interesting hearing her talk about, like, not only her mentality to this, but her mentality to her co-writers, and how her writing process changed and shifted around the team that she had, the talent that she was working with, but also making sure that her co-writers were part of it too.
With lyrics and a melody or a chorus, I stockpiled them. So that when I went into a writing session with a co-writer,
you adapt to fit the team.
I'd play them and sing them a few of these ideas, sort of like it was a pitch session. And whichever idea they liked the best was the one that we would finish together. I kept long lists of words that I loved, and I added to it every time I thought of a new one. I developed a serious fixation on alliterations and juxtaposition, and I wrote poems when I didn't have the right melody yet. When I was inspired by my own life, my curiosities about the world, or my very dramatic but extremely dire crushes on boys at school who had never even once talked to me, I wrote about that. But if I wasn't inspired by my own life, I'd use other methods to spark my imagination. I figured if the idea doesn't come to you, you have to become your own search party and go find it.
It's really amazing because, again, as Swifties, we've been with her on that journey. We've seen that Taylor takes everything from her own life, but then we've seen the opposite. We've seen her reach these points where she's gone like, I don't know, well, maybe she doesn't, not that she doesn't have a story to tell, but that she wants to try telling a different story. And we've seen her do that. So it's cool hearing her say that. She's like, oh, if I didn't have a story to tell, I'd have to go find a story.
Sometimes I'd put a movie on. I'd pause a scene and try to write a song from each character's perspectives. Even the villain. I'd explore what they were going through and try to say it in a vernacular that that character might use. And this is how I learned that every person has a self-constructed justification system that they live by. And we each get to decide what choices we're willing to condone in ourselves. We each decide what we see as good and true, fair and right. And so, with my metaphorical Mary Poppins bag of hooks, choruses, and bridges, and my non-metaphorical backpack from sophomore year of high school, I'd walk into my writing sessions on Music Row. And one of my favorite stories from...
Can you imagine a 14-year-old at this time doing that? Like just walking to these writing sessions with their own works and writing, not wanting to take the easy route. Like she said, working hard came easy.
This time in my life was when I got a chance to write with one of my favorite songwriters of all time, Craig Wiseman. Yep. Craig is an absolute savant of a writer, but he's also one of the funniest people I've ever met too, so I know that I can tell this story. I brought in about 5 different semi-formed songs that I thought were really strong. Because it was Craig Wiseman, I led my pitch with a song I really thought was special. It was pretty much done except for a few lines in the bridge. So filled with nervous anticipation.
I've just realized why every speech that she makes feels the same but different. Like has the same positiveness and uplifting story but different. It's because she approaches these speeches from a different perspective. This one is about songwriting, so she's approaching it for a songwriting perspective and talking about her history and past as a songwriter. And that's why these speeches are always different, because she caters the speeches around the story that matches the relevance of the place she's in.
I played it on guitar and sang it for him. And when I finished, he very kindly told me that he thought it was good, but he didn't really get it. And he'd love to hear the other ideas I brought. A few songs later, we landed on one that resonated better with him, and we had a fantastic writing session. It turns out you really can and should meet some of your heroes. But years later, we still look back on that session and we laugh about that first idea that I had played for him. I had ended up going home and finishing the song on my own later that night. It was called Love Story. Finishing that song that night was me trusting my instincts as a...
I love that Taylor, speaking to this incredibly talented, well-known writer in the scene who goes, don't really get the song, let's try some other ones. Didn't go, okay, scrap that song. She was like, no, I love this song. This song is amazing. Finished it, boom, love story.
Writer. Regardless of any feedback or information I had about what other people's take on it might be. I think now more than ever, in an industry that seems to be consumed by metrics, data, analytics, and we're all trying to predict whether something will trend or not. Like, writers need to trust their human intuition.
This is something a bunch of people have been saying now, is music and everything seems to be created with the idea of clipping and farming and this and that, and when you create a song, you're like, will it do well not only as a song, but on Twitter or on TikTok, on here, and blah, blah, blah. Can people cover it? Will people want to sing it? Will people want to play it? Can it be used over, like, things in life? Whereas it should literally be like, let's just make a song that's great. That's it. That's the bottom line. That's what Taylor's saying. Make a good song. Don't worry about the other stuff. Just make a good song.
And I think the thousands of hours I've spent lovingly working at this craft have taught me to really be able to identify the ideas that jump out at me and sparkle and linger, the ones that matter to me the most. I have to say thank you to Somber for that perfect performance. And his writing is so exceptional that it makes me actually envious, and I love that feeling. He's gonna be the top of my Spotify Wrapped this year, guaranteed. Like, it's locked, it's in the bag. And a lot of my late night debates with my friends about the state of the music industry involve me saying very loudly, Somber is the future, and he does it all on his own, and he doesn't need AI. The kids are fine. And so obviously, Shane is a very well-adjusted person, an artist, and doesn't need any of my advice at all. There are so many incredible writers who I love who have come into their own recently. And if I had advice for young artists, though, who should perhaps be interested in it, I would say that you really have to prioritize what you love. Down to
Thing is, as well, with a lot of this, because like the mention of AI got me thinking, all the biggest and best artists, all of the music that you listen to, all of the names that you know, never had AI. Never used it, never had it. It wasn't a thing. It didn't exist. All of the stuff you sit down and you love, all of the stuff that wins awards and makes names, AI is not a part of that. So keep that in mind. It's the human you love, not the machine.
your very core. Because you'll need that if your song ever gets heard by the public, or the critics, or the haters posing as critics, or the people who are chronically online, or the robots posing as people who are chronically online. Songwriters have a real balancing act that they have to conduct every day, because inherently, we're supposed to let it all in, feel deeply and sensitive to the point of near delusion, and then reflect those feelings and delusions back to the world in the form of a 3.5-minute sonic landscape, or a bop, or a folktale, or a battle cry, or a 10-minute coming-of-age song about a scarf.
I wonder what that could be. Man, if only I could remember it. I remember it all too well. The way that, like, when you write these songs and create these songs, you talk about like the genre that they might be, like Taylor saying that, like, when she starts it, it's like, what is this going to be? I find really interesting as well, because where do you start when you write a song? Do you start with the tempo? Do you start with the melody? Do you start with the sound, the tune? Where do you start? Or do you start with the genre? Do you sit there and go, I want to make a country song, I want to make a pop song, I want to make a soft rock song, and then you build from there? Is it always random, or do you have a formula?
So it's hard to harden yourself to certain brutal elements of this world, but allow me to now make a hard pivot and pull out a quote I love from the show Yellowstone. When father says to his son, it's the one constant in life, son. You build something worth having, somebody's gonna try to take it. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you. So John Dutton was talking about a ranch, but I'm using this quote to refer to your self-worth, your peace of mind, and your singular vision as a creator.
Taylor saying this just after she talks about, like, people posing online and haters and critics and this sort of stuff, I feel like it's so relevant. Her just saying that if you are ever in that position, there will always be someone who's going to want to bring you out of that position, who's going to want to bring you down, who's going to want to come at you with a pitchfork. Always. Sadly, that's just how it is. The universe deals in balances, and where there is a positive, there must be a negative.
Positive feedback and people loving what you wrote feels incredible, and I hope you get lots of it. But you need to be ready to receive negative feedback, whether you seek it out or not. It's no longer a shock that this is how things work, but Somehow it feels like I have this conversation with a young writer every other week. If you make anything awesome, someone out there is bad at saying horrible things about it.
Did you guys hear that, or was that my PC? I don't know. But Taylor just went full robotic sheep. If you didn't hear that, she went bah, like vibrated. I hope that was like a video thing and not me, because that was well trippy.
Or twist what you meant into something completely unrecognizable to you. What I hope you discover is this: you can be sensitive, but also durable. And you can accept that feedback and skepticism and criticism are inevitable. You can take what's useful or constructive from that information and leave out what's simply damaging to your creativity. No one does or should make art that appeals to everyone, everywhere, all the time. My favorite art is detailed and singular in its voice. Therefore, it can't be digested and metabolized by everyone who experiences it in the same way. I'm very frequently told by people how they feel about my music. That they never really got my music until they got their heart broken. Or
this is something that is very difficult for people to understand, but it's very important as well. It's not everyone's gonna like you. And it sounds harsh me saying that, but it's true. Not everyone is gonna like you. No one, the nicest person in this world has people who don't like them, especially now with social media. Not everyone likes everybody, not everyone likes everything, and that's fine. That's a good thing. Like, not everyone needs to like everything. The world would be so boring if we all loved the exact same things. It's about being respectful in your disagreement. That's the main thing.
Started driving their daughter to school every day. Or until I made an alternative album in the pandemic called Folklore. Or that they only like the hits. Or that they only like the ones that weren't hits. Or that they don't like any of it at all. But it doesn't feel uncomfortable for me to get feedback of all sorts, because I know where I stand regarding the work I've made. As writers, we can only hope to meet people where they are in their lives. But you can't ever orchestrate or force the encounter. You just have to hope that in some exquisite happenstance you bump into them on the same path at the same time. That somehow, amidst the noise of life, a line we wrote or a melody that we crafted cuts through, and they hear it, they feel something. That they get chills, or feel lighter, or think of someone they love.
It's so amazing that artists create these songs that mean so much to us, that stick in our heads, that have like, songs are so important to so many people. They could be your wedding song, or your song, or something you put on when you're sad or when you're happy, or anything like that. Songs change and shape our emotions and become part of stories in our lives. And they all start right there.
Our goal is to elicit that glint of recognition in another human being, because something that felt good and true to us feels good and true to them at the same time. And in that moment, when someone blurts out, "I love this song," it was easy. Before I go, there's so many people who helped me get to this podium, who vouched for my writing and cared about my perspective before anyone cared about my name. And then the fans came along, and they wanted to hear my stories, my prose, my hooks, my heartache, and nothing delights and surprises me more.
By the way, I do want to say, it's awesome that we have this video, but who the bloody hell films in vertical, man? Like, oh, would you look at that? So, you can change it to vertical later, but you can't change it to horizontal. Shame on you.
And the fact that 20 years after my first song came out, they still want to read the next chapter. Nothing makes me happier than when someone tells me that they used to listen to my music with their parent, and now decades later, they listen to it with their own child. I'm good. Or that they listen to it with their best friend, or when a couple tells me that Love Story is their song.
What I love so much is that my boys know who Taylor is. That makes me so happy. Like, they see a picture, they hear a song, and they go, it's Taylor Swift. I go, who's this? They go, it's Taylor Swift. That makes me happy.
Or somebody does like a cute little dance to the Fate of Ophelia, or I hear people in different countries singing Opalite in their own accents, or someone tells me that the song Enchanted gets their baby to stop crying. It's, I'm humbled by the ways that fans have immortalized my songs in their own individual ways, allowing them to be the underscore of some of their real-life expeditions on this earth, the magnificent moments as important to me as the seemingly mundane. Lastly, I know that when it comes to legacy, there are so many songwriters who have had such remarkable careers before me, and I know that the Songwriters Hall of Fame could have chosen any of these deserving and brilliant writers to receive this honor this year, but you chose to include me in this group of exemplary songwriters to be inducted into the Hall of Fame class of 2026 tonight. So I want to thank the voters for celebrating and honoring the best and truest parts of my life. I will be forever grateful. Have a good night, guys. Thank you.
I thought you wanted it, I don't know. Literally walks off without taking her award. Imagine being given an award and you're like, wow, thank you so much. You just put it down and just walk off. Like, I think that tells you everything about Taylor, right? That she is there for the moment, not the trophy that comes with the moment. And she finds this all such an honor, but it's not the trophy that's the honor, it's what it is. It's the speech, it's what it means, that's the honor. So much so that she just walks off without the freaking trophy. And it's just everything. Plus that, and also, you know, it's Taylor. Like, she's gonna do something like that. Oh my word, man. There was so much there that I just feel like resonates with so many people. It's interesting, it's just like her music. When she does these speeches, they are so perfectly crafted for the exact moment they represent. Whether she's given an indoctrination to a bunch of college or university students that are about to go on and become employees in the world, and then she'll craft a speech around that. Whether it's indoctrination into some kind of music thing, live performances, or a songwriting place, she'll cater her speech around that. But it then is more, because it's not just that, it's everything else that comes with it. She will make these speeches that feel so well crafted and perfectly catered and narrow to these moments and these specific people, but then we'll shift, change, and adapt it where I'm watching and you're watching and we're listening to this that is about songwriting and we're feeling it and we're attaching it to our own lives, much like Taylor's music. She does it with her speeches, and then there's parts that we're like, oh yeah, I feel that, I've gone through that, I understand that. She'll talk about her kids doing not her kids, not yet, but she'll talk about like kids doing certain things, or what she was like when she was a kid, and these moments in her life, and then you might associate that with yourself or your children. She'll talk about like her perseverance and what she's had to do and the criticism she's felt and how she's handled people, and again, you will associate that to your life in some way. And it's amazing how her speeches, like I said, are so perfectly crafted for one thing, but somehow capture everything else. She casts a wide and narrow net at the same time, pinpointing perfectly and accurately exactly her target, but catching everything else around it. It's crazy. I don't know how she does it every single time, and I feel like this speech has been one of her best. It's so heartfelt, and once again, all Taylor ever does with her speeches is try to lift up everyone else. When the honor is supposed to be for her and about her and on her, she makes it about everyone else. Every time. I love this woman. Such a role model and an inspiration, and I do hope you all enjoyed my reaction to this. I know these speech reactions never do that well for views, even though you guys have overwhelmingly demanded I react to it. I always know they're not going to do exceptionally well, but I hope you enjoyed it anyway. I want to say thank you so much for everybody who watches my videos, even the ones like this. I appreciate you guys so much, and I hope you have an awesome week. I can't wait to see what you all want me to check out next week, and I look forward to sitting down and watching it with you all then. Please like, please subscribe, and as always, my friends, you will see me in the next video.